Hello, New York Realers. Thank you so much for being with me during Roberto Blake Week. This week, we have a guest, my friend, who is a creator, YouTuber, educator, entrepreneur, marketer, and he is Roberto Blake. His slogan is always be creating. Monday to Friday, we have 5 days of awesome content. Monday's theme is everything YouTube. Tuesday, technology. Wednesday, entrepreneurship. Thursday, creativity. And Friday, if this is the first time you're watching New York Real, my name is Olive Hoyt. Our slogan on New York Real TV is the act of finding out. It's all about learning and taking action. Do what you love and find a way to pay yourself. Besides New York Real Zoom, where I interview my guests on Zoom, I have New York Real interviews, New York Real field trips, New York Real fit. Subscribe to my channel, New York Real TV. Be a part of the community. We are here to do cool things together and experience life and make the best out of it.
Hacks on hacks on hacks.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to Roberto Blake Week on New York Real Zoom. I'm Olive Hoyt. If you haven't checked out my channel yet, it's New York Real TV. I'm here with Roberto Blake, of course, for the third day. And today we're going to talk about entrepreneurship. And first of all, I would like to know, Roberto, what was your first jobs?
My first jobs in general or as an entrepreneur?
In general.
I mean,
actually, you told me about it, but I just want everyone.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things I've done, but I guess I could start though with when I was a kid, stuff I did that made money. When I was a kid, even as I was a creative entrepreneur even then, because it wasn't a job or anything, but no, I was literally, I was hand drawing comic books and selling them to my classmates when I was a kid. Also, when I got into middle school, I would go to the gas station and I would buy a 12-pack of sodas for $3, load everything up in my duffel bag. I was even putting ice in my duffel bag and stuff like that. I figured it all out. I used towels and stuff like that, refrigerator. And then I sold the cans of soda at school for $1 a piece. So I was making a 200% profit on these cans of soda, because this was before vending machines were in the schools. So I was doing stuff like that as a kid. There's just all kinds of things. And when I became a teenager and I taught myself to code at 13, by the time I was 15, 16, I started realizing I could make decent money doing websites. This is back in the late 90s when it's just getting started. And I did this for businesses and local churches and things like that. And I was like, oh, I can make real money with skills. And so I did that. I did freelance photography. I did all these things. At some point in my college stuff, I ended up working at Sears as a photographer in the portrait studio. When I was a teenager, I worked for a wedding photographer for his business. When I was in college, I also worked and did weekend wedding gigs with one of my professors. I was just hustling. In my 20s, I got into web design at a company that was doing web hosting. So I was doing graphic design and web design there. After a couple of years, I worked at ad agency doing billboards in New York. I did HBO fight posters and billboards and things like that. Things for Big Ten Network. I did something for the Lombardi documentary. I did some HBO comedy stuff. It was pretty cool. After a while, I went from that to doing social media marketing at an IT company.
And that was what year?
I don't even remember anymore, to be honest. I'd have to look all that up because everything's been so long, and for me the time flies by and it just blurs together. But now I've been a creative entrepreneur for a number of years, instead of just being a freelancer like a lot of people would do. Right now I run my own business. In fact, my business is the arm of my personal brand. It's the funny thing is I'm my best client. But I still do client work. I do clients. I do public speaking. I do workshops and training. And I even have one major local client now as a car dealership for the video marketing stuff. And when I moved to Atlanta this summer, there'll be more local business than I do. I typically do most of my business on the internet. That's the thing. I almost rarely do local clients. But when I moved to Atlanta, just because the nature of downtown Atlanta, I know I'll probably do a lot more local stuff. I'm looking forward to that.
Have you announced officially that you're moving from North Carolina?
I've been talking about it for a while. I mean, it's just a matter of formalities now. It's just a matter of like, I know the neighborhood that I want to be in at this point. It's just a matter of getting the right house for the right money, and then all the formalities and paperwork that goes with that, and then the physical moving. I've been like packing up things in containers slowly. So, you know, dang, I do have to clean out the garage though. That's going to be a nightmare.
That's kind of amazing when you look back. Like every job, you can think of a few things that you learned and you carried with you into the next job, and to become the Roberto Blake that you are now.
Yeah, it was all a learning experience. I think it was all necessary. I think more than anything, what I learned from all of my bosses was what not to do and how not to be a horrible boss.
Can you share something, like some examples of that? What not to do?
Well, I mean, in the most extreme case, I would say that, like, don't jump up and down on your desk yelling at your employees. That would probably be something I'd recommend people not do.
Is that something a lot of people can relate? Their bosses all jump up and down.
That, like, I physically was like shocked. Like, I was like, what is this happening right now? Am I being pranked? Like, you know, I'm joking about it now, but it wasn't funny at the time. I think if you're a boss, don't like march in and tell your like 30 employees that they're lucky to have a job when like the market's bad and like, you know, unemployment's high, and like lord that over them. That's not the right thing to do. And that's not a good thing to do. That doesn't make people loyal. I would say you can't run your company or you shouldn't run your company with fear. I don't think that that's a productive strategy for business entrepreneurship. You can be firm and fair, and I believe in that. I believe in rewarding good behavior, disincentivizing bad behavior. Right now, I don't have full-time employees, but I work with a lot of vendors. I work with a lot of freelancers, and I work collaboratively with them. I make it clear what I want, though. I think clarity of communication is one of the most important lessons in entrepreneurship. I think fair-mindedness is important. I think protecting your reputation in terms of not just how you handle your customers and your clients, but even how you handle vendors and employees, and contractors, and them knowing that it's like, you're a good guy, you're a good gal, you're going to do right by them, but that you're also not stupid, and that you're going to want the best quality that you can get for your money. I think that people respect you more, and I think when you have people's respect, you have less to worry about.
For people who are thinking about leaving their job, going for the big dream, or who are already in the journey of pursuing their own business, taking risks, can you give us like a brief entrepreneurial checklist? What qualities do you think they should have in order to be successful?
You have to be tremendously self-disciplined. You have to be self-disciplined. You also have to be willing to put something on your own back and carry it to the finish line. I think that a negative quality in myself that made me successful is how much I don't like being disappointed and let down by other people. And I think that my trust and intimacy issues with people served me as an entrepreneur. It doesn't serve me as a human being. I've self-corrected on a lot of those things and I've grown. But as an entrepreneur, initially it served me well because it meant that I would force myself to learn skills and do things specifically to not have the anxiety, because I used to have severe anxiety. It probably would have been helpful for me to like got on medication, but I refused because like I just didn't believe in it. For me, I think that people who feel they need to do that should do that. But for me, I just felt like I didn't want to give control to something else because I already felt like I was giving control to the condition. So to eliminate my anxiety until I could deal with that, my answer was, if I can do it myself, I'm not waiting for the other shoe to drop of someone letting me down or cheating me. And so that forced me to be very disciplined and very fast and very efficient and effective, which are good qualities in entrepreneurship. I turned my internal weaknesses as a human being. I literally took what for some people is a disease. Anxiety is like a medical condition. It's like for a lot of people, it represents a disease. I took one of the most unhealthy aspects of myself and I used it as a force for accomplishing my goals and addressing my other weaknesses of like, okay, I will tie my anxiety to my past pain points of people letting me down or screwing me over, and I will attach it only to that, and I will eliminate it by then saying, fine, I won't put that in someone else's hands. I'll control my own fate and my own outcomes, and I'll take my wins and losses and put them on my own back. And I did that. And in doing that, yes, I put a tremendous amount of pressure on myself, but it was being forged by fire. It sifted through and eliminated, burned away so many of my weaknesses. It was a crucible, but it burned away so many of my imperfections and weaknesses and the impurities about myself. It got me really disciplined. It got me focused, and it got me fast, and it got me effective and efficient. It made me prioritize. It made me not take on too much. It meant that I also wasn't squandering my time by like just doing the bare minimums anymore. And that made a real difference. It made me much more disciplined and accountable. And then now that I'm like, oh, what now? I have too much to do, and I have the time, but I also have the resources, and I have the money. I'm like, I want to focus on doing these things that either matter the most to me or make me the most money. So I'm like, I'm now happy to give things to other people and to hire contractors and vendors and say, here, take it. I don't care. Like, go. And so that anxiety is also gone because it forced me to like, okay, if I have to trust people, what are my qualifications for trusting people? It made me intentionally develop a network of people who could be reliable, could be good collaborators, good partners, people who are good listeners, but also could give good input, people who would challenge me, but people who'd also respect me. So by building and cultivating my network of creative people and technical people and business people, it meant that I now had people that I could trust with my thoughts, that I'm like, oh, you're not going to steal my idea because you got too much work to do. You don't want any more ideas. And or you're just vain enough to where you won't steal my idea. I can tell you my ideas all day, because if it's not your idea, you don't want to do it. Like, so I finding the right people, like it gave me this great freedom to where I'm like, oh, I finally have these people. It's like I identified this quality in this person. It's like, great, I can trust them with ideas. Oh, this person I can trust to do work for me, or something like that. Oh, this person I can trust to keep confidences. This person I can trust them to tell me when I'm screwing up, like, and not make me feel so horrible about it, but help me work through it. So I feel like, yeah, there's always room to grow. But I think if you know yourself, if you become self-aware, it's probably an overheard thing by now, especially thanks to Gary Vaynerchuk. But it's like the most important quality in entrepreneurship really is self-awareness. Because I mean, just think about that thing, that rambling I just did. It's like it came down to self-awareness. If you know what your strengths and your weaknesses are, you can prioritize. If you know what your strengths and your weaknesses are with people, you know who to bring into your network to help compensate for that and help elevate your value. Self-awareness is everything to an entrepreneur.
That is like when you are building a team with people that you work with, personalities and strengths and weaknesses.
I prioritize personalities over skills and over body of work even. And people don't believe me. Like, artists are vain as hell. Creative people are vain as hell sometimes. And vanity's too expensive, by the way. That's why I try to eliminate a vanity in myself as quickly as possible. I mean, it's not like I've eliminated all of it and there's little things, but like, I sometimes, again, people don't believe me on this, but I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's a very expensive lesson. It's like, and so I literally, there's things that's like, I just don't give a crap. Like, because I'm like, no, understand that if you eliminate that romanticism, it will save you from making very expensive mistakes. So when it comes to creative people, everyone wants to obsess and say it should be the portfolio that counts, because that's what makes creatives feel good, is like, yeah, my work, my portfolio, right? Oh, build it and they will come. And I'm like, if you have the best portfolio in the world, and that person is only 60% as good as you, but they have a much better temperament and better personality, and they are a better listener, screw your portfolio. I don't care how good you are. I'm going to take the better listener. Because skills can be improved. Skills can be improved. I can make that person better in Photoshop, I guarantee you. Or I can pull the best out of them, I guarantee you. I can't make you a better person necessarily. I can't fix a toxic personality.
Be self-aware. Be a good human. Have skills.
I'll take the best human over the best creative any day of the week. I will take the best human, and I will literally turn on their skills and their talents. And I say this in all modesty, on their skills and their talents, I'll turn lead into gold there. I can't work with someone that doesn't take pride and ownership in their work. I can't work with somebody that can't listen and that thinks that they have all the answers, and that I can't work with someone who doesn't want to be a collaborator. I also can't work with somebody who wants me to hold their hand for everything. You have to be a self-initiated person. You have to have some drive in you. I don't want lifers for the most part. I want people who are going to quit on me one day, because until the day they do, they will keep pushing the envelope and they will get better. They will get better because of their drive to be my rival, my friendly rival, instead of be my
Mentee.
my employee, my mentee, like, my apprentice. It's like I have a very Sith Lord like doctrine from Star Wars about that. It's like, I'll like embody like maybe your ambitions or your ideals and everything like that, but I need you to be hungry. I need you to want to come after me. I need you to want to, I need you to want on some level to be where I'm at and where I have. And then we can be friendly rivals about it. And we can be respectful rivals about it. Like, I'm cool. I want you to I want you to get to a level where you can build a thing, quit working for me, sit at the table, and let's do business together, and let's go after something big, and let's pitch the biggest thing we can possibly get. Let's go get real money.
Yes.
I'm like, that's what I want. I want intrapreneurs. I don't want lifers who want to sit there and squat for a pension. I don't want it. I don't want it. I want you to want to hustle so hard that one day you have to come and try to beat me.
Do you remember the first time we hung out at the end of the day? I think you asked me like, so now, what do you think? Like, am I the same as on YouTube? Or maybe I just offered to tell you that.
No, I asked.
Okay. And I said, wow. Like, I felt like watching your video is the same as us sitting in Grey Dogs in New York City, chatting over things. Like, seeing how you talk to people you just met or at Wix Lounge. Like, it's the same Roberto Blake. That's why I like working with you and being your friend. And that's the respect I have for Dory too, our mutual friend, Dory Clark.
Right on.
Like, you guys are real people, but you're also an attitude. You just have excellence in your work. And
were you surprised by how excited I am about other people?
About when you meet them?
Yeah, like when I meet them and when I'm around, like how excited I got about like people, like perfect strangers while we were at Wix.
Oh, it was genuine. And that girl recognized you because she watched your channel and she started asking you questions. Remember at the Wake Lounge, the person who's like hosting the event said, in the next few minutes, whoever wants to introduce yourself, you can raise your hands, let us know what you do and why you're here, share a little bit about yourself. And that sentence hasn't even ended. And you, Roberto Blake, on my right, like raise your hand, immediately grab the mic and start talking. And I was like, wow, he has like 200,000 followers. Wouldn't he just sit around and think, do they recognize me? Hey, it's me here. Like, it was.
I remember I told you I got rid of any. I have no vanity about that. People don't believe me. I really don't care about that subscriber. I can have 1 million subscribers. I guarantee you, when I have 1 million subscribers, I'm going to be exactly the same way I am like now.
Oh, good.
Like, the subscriber count won't change me. Now, here's the crux of that. By the time I have 1 million subscribers, I'm going to have possibly a few employees, and there are some other things. I'm going to have had the book out, and there's some other things going on, and certain aspects of that might change how accessible I am because I won't have a choice in terms of the level of business I'm running. And I'm sure that there are people who are going to mistake it for my subscriber count, and it's not going to be the subscriber count. It's going to be that literally I have no time now because now I owe people a living. I have to run a business that employs full time. When I'm doing that, that's where my big shift and pivot and attitude is going to be, because I won't want to let those people down. Like, I have to make sure that everything and that all like my focus, like content will still be getting out, because like the personal brand, that's very real to me. And the mission of like helping other people climb this ladder is very real to me. The issue will become outside of the context of being with me in person at something like Wix, where I end up, or at a conference or something like that. I'll be just as accessible in real life, in real time, as I always have been in that regard. The ability to get a lot of direct interaction with me in like DMs and something, if I don't know you, probably not so much, because at that point, that would be me taking away from a meeting or a client or an employee. You get what I'm saying? So like,
yeah. So like always when you say, it sounds like, like I'm bragging, you're totally not bragging. This is like like understatement, because I know how much you work, how fast you work, how you just don't have any excuses. Like sometimes like at night when I have to edit or do something, I'm like getting lazy. Maybe I should just call it a night. Oh, Roberto. Oh, the Roberto attitude. I'm going to get up and work.
Well, like, it's one of those things where it's like, I put out like, 30 just on YouTube, like on average, 30 videos a month on YouTube, just on average, which most people cannot do. And I do it with high level editing and production values. I'm still shooting and editing everything right now. And here's the thing. Yeah, I'm about to hire an editor. I'm about to hire Zoe to be an editor. But the thing is, she's not taking over those 30 videos from me. She's adding videos to my backlog for the days that I can't edit, and she's adding videos so that I can start to double up on certain content on certain days. And she's also taking a little bit off my plate because I have to finish building out some products that I'm working on, which is also content related. And then I still have to record stuff for my podcast, and then Jason Liebman of Liebs Media is going to be editing some of that. But I'm also going to be editing stuff. So the thing is, it's now, in some ways, I'm only working slightly less, and then I'm still replying to all my stuff personally on social media. There's no outsourcing a reply from me. That's going to still be a thing. And you can't outsource your live streaming. So when I'm doing that, that's real. But the other thing is, I've got like 12 speaking engagements this year. And right now, I have 5 one-on-one coaching clients that I'm working with right now that I do weekly calls with. I have a private peer mentoring group right now with 30 members. So there's a lot of people in my ecosystem that I actually do owe time to. I still have clients that for one-off things that aren't coaching clients that are like client services work. So there are things where I actually am accountable to other people. My vendors, I'm accountable to them to have a meeting for a project. I'm accountable to be in a Slack channel with them and to respond and to approve things. When I hire a freelancer for something, I owe them an email reply to get the work done. I owe them paying attention and reviewing their thing to give them like my comments and my constructive things so that they can do their work. And so if I'm doing that, I can't always reply to people in Twitter or in YouTube. So there are people who are going to believe a year from now that he's not so active anymore. He's not this because, he blew up or he got a big head. There's going to be people who think that, but the reality is going to be it's that. And again, maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe people will actually understand it and take it for what it is because I'm a different type of YouTuber and they'll see some parallels to people like Gary Vaynerchuk and Marie Forleo in there and Evan Carmichael, and will realize it's that Roberto is not accessible anymore, not because he got a bunch of subscribers. Roberto's not accessible because he's running a company and he's on a plane right now.
They can watch this video and they'll understand. And
yeah.
I remember also telling you that you're different from other people who are teaching on social media platforms, like educating on your channel. I think it's because you really want to give people the value and then they take it and they learn and they run with it. You don't want them to need you forever. You don't want them to subscribe to something that they pay a lot of money to and then cannot end. It can never end because they cannot exist without Roberto. It's not like that. So that sets you aside from a lot of teachers.
I have no interest in people being dependent on me in the same way that, like I told you, I don't want lifers for employees that are constantly depending on me to be a paycheck. It's like, no, I'm going to teach you to get your own. I want to teach you to get your own. I want you to build a business and I want to buy equity cheap. Like I want you to build a business so that I can take 5% of your company for a fair price and everything. And I can make money off of the investment that I built in making you successful by giving you skills and giving you mentorship and guidance.
I have this picture in my mind of you floating up, holding lots of colorful balloons. And as you're floating up, you're giving away the balloons to others. And they have their own balloon and they might be floating a little slower because they don't have your big bunch, but they are making their own and creating things around it. So everybody is going up together.
So that's an interesting visualization. That's interesting.
So tomorrow we have Creative Thursday. Creativity is what we're going to talk about. So thank you for watching Wednesday video. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video with Roberto Blake.
Here we are again. Another shot at you.
Hey, thank you so much for watching New York Resume Roberto Blake Week. Did you enjoy the conversation? Go check out robertoblake.com. Connect with him on social medias. Please subscribe to my channel, New York Read TV, so we can stay in touch. And there will be more videos like this coming. We had Becky Walsh Week, where we talk about intuition. Dory Clark Week, where we talk about how to become recognized in your field. This week with Roberto Blake Week, we learn how to survive as a creative in 2017. Comment down below to let me and Roberto know what you think about today's topic. Are you a creative? Are you an entrepreneur? What's your experience like? And give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Thank you so much, Roberto, for sharing. Thank you so much, New York Realists, for supporting my channel. And don't forget, create something awesome today. See you in my next video.
Never gonna love without you. Never gonna fade away. Can we get this shit together and heal our hearts?